Hello, I can do this. Believe.
Your voice matters. Start speaking today.
Welcome back. Today we're talking about speaking English with confidence.
That's right. We'll share simple tips to help you feel more confident.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak English with Confidence, your daily place to practice real, natural English.
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Emma. Seriously, we're so happy you're here with us today.
Yeah, honestly, if you're learning English, you're in the right place. And hey, if you're new, hit subscribe so you don't miss our daily episodes.
All right, Daniel, quick question. How was your weekend?
Pretty good, actually. Relaxing. But something slightly embarrassing happened.
Uh-oh, those are always good stories. What happened?
So I was talking to a friend about my sister's birthday, and I proudly said I did a cake for her.
You did a cake?
Yes, and the worst part, I said it with full confidence.
Oh, that confidence makes it even funnier.
Exactly. And my friend goes, "You don't do a cake, you make a cake."
And right there, that's today's topic.
Yeah, because honestly, aren't make and do basically the same thing?
They look similar. They both describe actions. But the difference? Pretty big. And mastering this actually makes your English sound much more natural. Okay, everyone, here's the simple secret. Listen carefully, because this is the idea that clears up most confusion between these two verbs. Make equals create something. Do equals perform an action, task, or activity. That's it. That's the foundation. Simple, but honestly very powerful once it really clicks.
So basically, create versus perform. It sounds simple when you say it like that.
Exactly. That's really the heart of it. When you say make, you're usually talking about producing something new. Something exists after the action that didn't exist before. A result, an outcome, a product, sometimes even a feeling.
So like, make a cake, make money, make a plan. Okay, yeah, I see it now. And hopefully not make too many mistakes.
Exactly. And mistakes are part of learning anyway. Now, with do, the focus shifts. It's more about the action itself, the activity, the task, the responsibility. You're not always creating something visible. You're just performing an action.
So make is results, do is actions. That actually makes it less scary. English feels complicated until someone explains it simply.
That's very true. And here's something important. Native speakers usually don't think about this rule consciously. They're not analyzing grammar while talking. They just feel what sounds natural.
Yeah, they're not sitting there thinking, creation verb or activity verb.
Exactly. It becomes instinct over time. But as a learner, once you understand this principle, something interesting happens. You start noticing it everywhere. Movies, conversations, podcasts, daily speech.
That's actually true. Once you learn something, suddenly it appears everywhere. It's like your brain unlocked a new filter.
That's a great way to describe it. And this is why understanding beats memorizing. When you understand the logic, fluency becomes easier.
And honestly, less stressful too.
Exactly. And don't worry if you still mix them up sometimes. That's completely normal. Everyone learning English goes through this phase.
Even advanced learners sometimes slip. I definitely still do.
And that's okay. With exposure, repetition, and real conversation, it becomes automatic. And once this clicks in your brain, you'll start hearing it everywhere. And eventually, you'll start using it naturally without ever thinking. That's when your English really starts sounding confident and fluent.
That's the goal right there.
When you use make, there's usually a result. Something new exists after the action. It might be something physical, something abstract, or even an emotional effect, but there's an outcome. That's the key idea. For example, make a cake, make dinner, make a plan, make money, make a mistake. In each case, something appears after the action. A cake exists, a plan exists, money increases, or even a mistake becomes part of the situation.
Wait, make a mistake? That's not exactly something I want to create.
True, nobody plans that, but grammatically, you're still producing an outcome. A mistake becomes the result of an action, even if it wasn't intentional. And this idea extends beyond physical things. Even emotions count. For example, make someone happy, make someone laugh, make someone angry, make someone feel comfortable, make someone nervous. In all these cases, you're causing a reaction or emotional result.
So it's not just cooking or building things. It can be emotional, mental, even social.
Exactly. That's why make is such a versatile verb. You can make progress, make a decision, make an effort, make a change, make an impression. None of these are physical objects, but they're still results of actions.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture now. So basically, make is like building, producing, causing something to happen.
Yes, that's an excellent summary. If something new exists, physically, emotionally, or conceptually, there's a strong chance English will use make. And once you start noticing this pattern, choosing between make and do becomes much easier.
Honestly, that already feels clearer than memorizing random phrases.
Understanding the principle usually makes learning faster and less stressful. And with enough exposure, this becomes automatic, just like it is for native speakers. Now, do is different. You use do when you're talking about actions, responsibilities, or activities, especially when there isn't a clear physical result you can point to afterward. Usually, do connects with work, responsibilities, tasks, daily activities, things you complete rather than create. That's the main idea. For example, do homework, do the dishes, do exercise, do your job, do business. In all these situations, you're focusing on the action itself.
So it's more about the action, not necessarily what comes out of it.
Exactly. That's a great way to think about it. You're emphasizing the process, the activity, or the responsibility, not a product you made. For instance, when you say, do homework, you're completing an academic task. Do the dishes, you're performing a household responsibility. Do exercise, you're engaging in an activity. The focus is on doing, not producing.
That actually makes sense. Although, honestly, nobody enjoys doing the dishes.
That's a very common opinion. And do appears in many everyday expressions. Do your best, do someone a favor, do research, do cleaning, do the shopping. These all emphasize action and effort.
So do often feels like responsibility or duty.
Yes, very often. That's why learners sometimes say things like make homework because they think about producing something. But English focuses more on the task itself, so we say do homework.
Ah, okay. That mistake suddenly makes sense.
Exactly. Once you understand the perspective, the choice becomes easier. And again, native speakers usually don't consciously think about this. They've heard these patterns thousands of times. But with practice, you'll start developing the same instinct.
And honestly, repetition really helps. Hearing it again and again makes it stick.
Absolutely. Exposure, listening, speaking, and using the language regularly, that's what builds confidence. And over time, choosing between make and do becomes automatic. All right, let's make this even easier to remember. Here's a memory trick that really helps students, especially when they feel confused in real conversations. Make equals create, do equals activity. If you remember just this small rule, you'll avoid most mistakes. Simple ideas often work best because your brain can recall them quickly when you're speaking.
So basically, when I'm unsure, I just ask myself, am I creating something or just doing an activity? That already feels clearer.
Exactly. That quick question can guide you. And now let's reinforce it. Say it with us. Repetition really helps memory.
Make equals create. Do equals activity.
Good. And again, the more you repeat it, the faster it becomes automatic.
Okay. Make, create, do activity. It actually sticks when you repeat it like this.
Yes, because repetition builds familiarity, and familiarity builds confidence. Also, saying things out loud activates your speaking muscles, not just your understanding. That's a big part of language learning.
Yeah, silent learning helps, but speaking really locks it in, even if you feel a little silly practicing alone.
That's completely normal. Every fluent speaker has practiced out loud at some point. So whenever you hesitate between make and do, just remember create equals make, activity equals do. Short, clear, and very effective.
Honestly, that's probably one of the easiest grammar tricks I've heard.
And easy usually means memorable, which is exactly what we want. Food and cooking. Let's move into real-life situations, because this is where learners really start feeling the difference naturally. Food and cooking are probably the easiest place to understand make. You always say, make breakfast, make lunch, make coffee, make dinner. Because you're preparing food, you're creating something that didn't exist before. So in English, cooking almost always uses make. And one important point, you never say do dinner when you mean cooking.
Yeah, honestly, if someone says I did dinner, it sounds like dinner was homework.
Exactly. It sounds like an assignment instead of a meal. When you cook, you're producing food, so English naturally uses make. For example, I'll make pasta tonight. She made a delicious cake. He made coffee for everyone. We made lunch together. All of these highlight creation.
And honestly, food examples are easy to remember because everyone eats.
That helps a lot with memory. Now, here's a small nuance learners should know. Sometimes you might hear expressions like, I'll do the cooking tonight. That's correct too, but notice the difference. Here, do refers to the activity or responsibility of cooking, not the food itself.
Ah, okay. So make dinner, create the food, do the cooking, perform the task. That's actually a really helpful distinction.
Exactly. That distinction shows how flexible English can be when you understand the perspective.
Honestly, the more examples we go through, the more natural it feels.
And that's the goal, moving from confusion to instinct through exposure and understanding. Okay, everyone, let's do a quick test together. Nothing stressful, just a simple check to help this stick in your mind. Ready? You cook pasta tonight. What do you say?
I make pasta.
Exactly, because you're creating food. There's a result. Dinner exists now. All right, next one. After eating, you clean everything in the kitchen. What do you say?
I do the dishes.
Perfect. That's an activity, a responsibility, not something you're creating. Let's try one more for everyone listening. You prepare a plan for a trip.
That would be make a plan.
Correct. And if you complete your work tasks for the day?
Do work or do my tasks.
Exactly. You see how it works? Creation usually connects with make. Activities and responsibilities usually connect with do. And once this becomes natural, you'll stop thinking about it consciously.
Honestly, repetition really helps. At first, it feels confusing, then suddenly it feels obvious. That's the normal learning process. And the fact that you're practicing right now already puts you ahead. So yes, Fluent Upgrade unlocked.
Achievement Unlocked English Edition. All right, everyone, that's your English confidence boost for today. Remember, small improvements every day lead to big fluency over time. Consistency matters more than perfection.
And if this lesson helped you, share it with a friend learning English. Learning together actually makes the process easier and more fun.
Also, don't forget to subscribe to Speak English with Confidence for daily natural English practice, real conversations, and practical tips you can actually use.
We're here every day helping you sound more natural, more confident, and more fluent.
Keep practicing,
Keep listening,
keep speaking.
and see you in the next episode. Bye.